Gina has been engaged.
Really? I didn't know she was getting married.
Yeah, shout out to Gina. Dude, and shout out to Indy for barking at the perfect time in response to the air horn.
Shout outs to Indy.
That was impressive. That was impressive. All right, so I think everything's in place. Everybody's ready to rock. I think we're energized. Shall we just kick into gear here, boys?
Yeah, dude. I'm getting ready to take a dab.
All right, Shedtime podcast kicking in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Shedtime. What is Shedtime, you ask? Well, it's code for the consumption of cannabis, but it's much more than that. Shedtime's a state of mind. It's art, it's music, it's cryptocurrency, technology, it's food, it's vaping. It can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're not letting the bastards get you down, not being a dick, and making it fun. When you're in the shed, it's whatever your mind allows you to create. So now let's get to the Shedtime podcast.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Shedtime podcast. That's right, my friends. We are back. I know everybody is so happy to have us here. As you can see, the live studio audience always loving it. So that's a beautiful thing. And I'm amped up because your boy and his wife just invested in a espresso machine. So I kicked off my day today with homemade latte, and yeah, your boy has got the energy. We are ready to go today.
You seem pretty amped, bro.
Yeah, I am fucking feeling it, boys. It is good. I am heavily caffeinated and understimulated. Yeah, I've also been avoiding taking any dabs until the show, so that way I don't come in here already like
groggy.
Yeah, brah. So, tried to do that. So now I'm ready because I can take some dab skis. And
my problem is that I've got too many choices right now, dude. I don't know what I want to go with here.
Something tasty. Speaking of something tasty, did you guys hear the news? Baja Blast is now officially part of the lineup. It's never going away.
At least for 2024 is what I've heard. All of 2024, it's going to be sold in all stores, pretty much. So, like wherever you could find your regular Mountain Dew, you should be able to find Baja Blast all year this year, which is a win. That's definitely a win.
That's in part because this is the as this bottle is announcing the 20th Baja-versary.
Oh, so 20 years of Baja Blast.
Yeah, bro. Could you believe that?
Dude, no, I can't believe that. That's crazy.
I would
never have thought it was 20 years. Never.
That blows my mind that it's been in, it started in Taco Bell in 2004. 20 years ago.
Wow.
But yeah, crazy.
20 years ago.
Yep. And now it is joining the lineup so that way you guys can have access to it all the time, which excites the hell out of me. And I'm hoping that means that we'll get a re-release of some of those special flavors like the mango and the guava and the passion fruit. Because that mango was...
Dude, the mango was fire, bro.
Banger. Utter banger. So I'd love to have that one back. I didn't get enough of it.
Black. Give me an OG Pitch Black, dude, and I'll be happy.
Dude, there's just so many flavors of Mountain Dew. It's crazy. Like, of all the ones they've come out with, retired, kept, whatever. Like, there's so many flavors.
I'm still bummed that, they dropped these OG Game Fuels, and James has been able to find them, and I haven't had them in my area yet.
Yeah, dude, I got a 12-pack of the Mystic Punch right now, and it's delicious.
I just want the classic Game Fuel. That was so good.
The cherry citrus, bro, is so fire.
So good. And it's weird, right? Because, you say cherry citrus and you think, well, isn't that Code Red?
Is? No, it's completely different. Code Red is more cherry than anything. This one, you actually get a little bit of citrus, and the cherry's different. It's like I don't know.
It's just, like the Game Fuel one's a legit flavor. It doesn't get gross after 3 or 4 sips.
Man, I might have said this before, but like, I didn't ever try Game Fuel because I always thought that they're like extra energy drink. And so I was like, I'm just good. So I never actually tried them. I didn't know that they were just like regular pop.
Have you ever went to go get like a bottle of Code Red, and then when you pick it up and look at the bottom and the like those little dimples at the bottom, there's like brown like syrup residue on the bottom of the bottle? Have you ever noticed that whenever you get a Code Red?
I've never noticed it. I've honestly barely got Code Reds.
I noticed that a little while back. I'm like, dude, that's kind of, I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, dude.
That can't be.
It's not that encouraging. That's for sure.
My pops, his wife used to buy it all the time for her kids. And, I noticed that a lot in the 2 liters. Like that red dye or whatever just kind of like settles at the bottom or something. And dude, like, listen, I love me a good Mountain Dew. Don't get me wrong. We talk about this stuff all the time, but when you start thinking about like none of these colorings are probably safe for us to consume. Like,
let's be honest, half the shit that we eat on a daily basis probably isn't safe to consume.
Well, that's what processed food is.
All the microplastics we have in our systems now.
That's a whole other thing, dude. These microplastics are scary. That
according to science, bro, people's taints are shrinking.
Wait. Taints are shrinking?
They're what?
Believe it or not, bro. I guess Rogan a while back had this lady on the podcast talking about microplastics and stuff and saying how it's causing like males' taints to shrink.
Shrinking perineum, huh?
Because of like lack of testosterone or some weird shit. I'm not 100% sure on the science. I've just heard him quote it multiple times, like on his podcast. And I just think it's hilarious, dude. So that's the only reason why I said it, because I knew I'd get a laugh out of you guys.
I know this.
I had no idea what you were talking about. So I knew what you were talking about.
I know this. When it comes to lack of testosterone because of the food we eat, that is 100% a legitimate thing going on in our world. Because realistically speaking, there are certain foods that lower your testosterone. There are certain foods that elevate it. But similarly, there are also foods that lower and elevate your estrogen level. And at the end of the day, everything is a balancing act within the body, within nature, right? And the higher one's estrogen is, the lower one's testosterone is. So 100%, like, there are all this processed food we eat is not helping people get testosterone boosts. Men are definitely not feeling extra masculine from eating Little Debbie snacks the way they are from eating beef jerky.
Hey man, I'll tell you what, them Little Debbie snacks was fire though.
I'm not debating that.
Speaking of which, I got a donut stick right here, homie.
Shit.
Breakfast of champions right there.
Yeah.
A donut stick and a cosmic brownie, bro, and I'm fucking winning.
That donut stick is what I think of every time I vape Vinyl and Vapor's Psycho Crawler.
Really? Okay.
Yep. That is what comes to my mind when I taste that flavor, is that exact donut stick.
Dude, this Amarillo berry rosin is so tasty.
Amarillo berry, huh? That already sounds delicious. And I don't even know what an Amarillo berry would be.
Me either. But it's
besides
delicious.
Something from Texas.
But it's
I guess so.
Man, that'll put some hair on your chest.
Sounded like it. I decided it was time to go for the old school, roll them up, light them up, smoke them up, and roll myself a nice doobski. I haven't smoked a doob on the show in a while, so why not?
As much as I miss joints, anytime I try to smoke one now, I hate myself afterward because my fucking throat and everything is just like brutal afterwards. I honestly do not enjoy the taste of like the aftertaste anymore. You know how like when you smoke a joint, you almost get like a resiny sort of situation going on in your mouth.
Yeah.
I can't do it, bro. I'm just so spoiled with vaporization now that it's so hard for me to go back. As much as like
shake it either.
As much as I'm like Sean, and I'm very much into the ritual of fucking smoking and that sort of thing. Like, dude, I love rolling joints, bro. I love it. It's one of my favorite things, bro. Just the process, breaking it down. You know what I mean? Getting your paper out. You know, trying to make like the nicest, straightest, but fattest joint you can with whatever you've got at your disposal. And then, you know, once you get it all done and just looking at it and then spark that first fucking hit off a fucking fresh joint, dude, so tasty. Like, you know what I mean? But then like, as you get about halfway, quarter way through, that resin starts to build up and it gets too harsh to where I can't do it anymore, dude. As much as I want to keep going, I know if I do, the next day I'm going to wake up and be like, bro, you shouldn't have done that. I know it was good, but dude, you're feeling it today. Nothing against anybody that smokes joints. Hey man, if I could still and enjoyed it like I used to, I would still do it. But I don't know, man. I'm so like into like the terpenes and the flavors now that like when I burn it, it just like takes that little bit of the edge off the flavor. And then like also, you know, the residual after effects, you know, from combustion, just it kills it for me now, dude.
See,
kind of bums me out.
I'm a firm believer. Every way that you partake has a slightly different high, right?
Oh, for sure.
So like it feels like a disservice to myself to deny myself the myriad options there are and the different ways that I can experience my material. Because at the end of the day, like I enjoy the material that I choose for a variety of reasons, not just its flavor, but also its effects, right? And so for me to be able to say, all right, well, I got this fresh batch. Let's see what it's like in the joint. Let's see what it's like in this bong. Let's see what it's like in this vape. And then determine from there, like which one I prefer, which one I want to use more of. You know, I like that. Because let's face it.
I hear you, bro.
There is some flower that just vapes like absolute dog shit until it just dries out some and like, you know, actually hits this certain point where like it can grind even correctly to properly vaporize. So like, I love having the option. And I mean, I totally get it because I've gone through those periods where all I want to do is just vape my herb nonstop. And when that happens, it becomes one of those things where if I do smoke, I get exactly what you're talking about, where it's like it's almost the throat's a little raw. You feel the resin in your fucking lungs the day after.
Not only that, but you just get like that taste in your mouth pretty much for the rest of the day. That, you know, unless you go and like brush your teeth or, you know, do a little like mouthwash or whatever, just like you still have that taste in your mouth, you know, all the time. It was like, remember when we first started Dynavapping, Sean? And then like you talked about how like you like didn't mind fruit flavors as much because
100%.
Because like it mixed, like the flavors were mixing better compared to, you know, having like the
whole tarry notion that sticks around after you smoke totally ruins the fruit flavors. Absolutely. Like I would need to wait a solid hour
I think like
after
that's part
smoking.
of it for me. And also, you know, to be honest, I think a big part of it too is like once I like made the full fucking switch to like quit smoking cigarettes and quit, you know, combusting my nicotine and that sort of thing. Like I just made a conscious decision that like if I could find a way to still intake my cannabis and a healthier, way as far as like harm reduction, especially since, we got really into like, that whole side of things when it comes to tobacco. I was like, you know what, why don't I extend this to my cannabis? And, I feel like at the same point, like kind of how you say you're feeling like you're doing yourself a disservice by, denying yourself that. I also feel like I'm doing myself a disservice by, I quit smoking and combusting my tobacco to continue combusting my you know what I mean? Like we're on the we're like kind of opposite on it. Nothing against I
agree with you. No, I agree with you. But here's the thing, right? And this is something that I think even, as much as we know that there are medical professionals who are going to disagree with us here on the show as far as what
they're actually professionals.
E-cigarette vaping is, to us, for them, right? Like they're not going to accept its legitimacy the way that we do. However, those same medical professionals are the people who have said that, like, realistically speaking, smoking marijuana, cannabis, is far less harmful than smoking tobacco due to the fact that there's so many more chemicals and additives into the tobacco that we're not using in the cannabis.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about like the tar and things that come with combustion.
But I agree. That's why I agree with you.
It's just like, cause like my lungs have like, especially now that I've been consistently, strictly vaporizing, my nicotine and my cannabis. It's like my lungs, dude, feel 1,000 times better than they did when I used to smoke consistently. You know what I mean? It's like I breathe better and it's like all that sort of thing. So it's just like the times that I do end up smoking a joint, I get that slight feeling again. And it's like, oh, I don't like this because I'm so used to not having it. But hey, like at the end of the day, like we said, to each their own and vibe how you want to, you know what I mean? Do it responsibly and, within moderation and whatever. But yeah, well, it's just crazy, dude, how much of a flip, the few years, since we've known each other, I've made from taking just bong rip after bong rip after bong rip, just fucking bowl after bowl, fucking taking hot ass fucking dabs all the time, you know what I mean? To now taking dabs at the most perfect temperature, vaporizing all of my cannabis at the precise temperature, you know what I mean? Like, the science that I've kind of dove into over the past 5 years or whatever we've all, been knowing each other is just crazy, dude. Like I've never really thought about it until like kind of right now. It's just, it's such a big flip.
Well, but it's something that we talk about all the time in the sense of like, again, in our vapor world that we've, spent as much time as we've spent, right? There's the spectrum to harm reduction. I always think about the fact that, for example, wearing a seatbelt is roughly a 50% harm reduction compared to not wearing your seatbelt. And we all agree that wearing your seatbelt is a good thing. 50% harm reduction is a beautiful number. So if we can reduce harm in something that we're doing, we should. And so in the same vein as we talk about with e-cigarette vaping, yes, e-cigarette vaping is not as good as doing nothing but breathing in clean oxygen.
At the end of the day, 100%. And that's
e-cigarette vaping is better than smoking cigarettes. And so the same applies to cannabis, right? Like, if you want to smoke your cannabis, absolutely. But if you don't want to smoke your cannabis anymore, because at the end of the day, inhaling smoke is not good for your lungs, absolutely, you should vaporize it. Or if we want to take it to the extreme, you can consume your cannabis via edibles, sublinguals, things like that, in which case you don't have to inhale anything. And that's the least harmful effect to your body in your respiratory manner. And I guess the cool thing is we could do all of that. We have all of that available
too, bro. Sean, and not only do I, also imbibe in, some sublingual THC methods now. Oh, speaking of which, dude, I need to crack back into one of these, dude. A little 500 milligram bottle of some syrup. That's not actually what it is. It's just THC syrup. It's like it's supposed to be a tincture. But
Hey, I had a
Pour a
blast
little
using
bit in
mine.
some Sprite, and it's pretty nice. Of course, legal age apply. But dude, like even when it comes to my nicotine, bro, I've been using nicotine pouches. Tobacco-free nicotine pouches, like to get me through my day-to-day at work. You know what I mean? For the times that I can't fucking sneak out and go get a vape. I just got my little pouch in there. It keeps me fucking focused, dialed in. You know what I mean?
What's the brand called?
Rogue.
Yeah, I got a couple guys in my shop right now. They've been using the Zyn ones.
Dude, Zins are a big thing, but the thing is Zyn doesn't have, and you guys already know how I am. Zyn doesn't have mango, bro.
Yeah,
okay? But Rogue does, and let me tell you what, I love it, dude. I love them.
Yeah, I'm in Massachusetts. You don't get nothing. You get like
I can't even buy.
That's it.
The thing is I can't even get these here either, Sean.
How'd you get them?
Because they've banned all flavored tobacco products in California now too. So like you go to like the gas stations and stuff, you can't get anything other than like maybe a mint or something like that. I think there might be like a cinnamon or something, but there's nothing like crazy anymore. So I have to order these, bro. So I just order fucking 5 packs at a time. I don't know. I can't remember. I order like 10 tins of these at a time. And just fucking have them in stock. And then when I see like I'm getting low, I just order some more.
The whole flavor ban thing is just insane.
It's not going to work.
It's illogical. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It literally harms business. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Not only that, but it just creates a bigger black market.
100%.
You deprive 100%. People of things that they want, they find out other ways to get it. Oh, yeah, dude.
That was a good one.
Better rip tater chip.
Yeah, that was the one that said, yeah, we're putting her out now. That's enough. Oh, man, yeah. That's good.
I'll let you just chill right there. You've done your job. Thank you for your service.
So weak.
Yep, that's right, Uncle Roger. I am so weak. That one got me good.
Dude, I actually thought that he was saying so sweet.
Nope. So weak.
So weak.
Yep. Damn white people. We're so weak. I know. It's okay.
Sean, you went and saw him, didn't you?
Dude, I'm actually wearing that sweatshirt as we speak, as a matter of fact. My MSG King of Flavor.
Dude, yeah. That's actually sick.
Dude, this is actually one of the cooler hoodies I've ever seen because, like, as a comedian and character, the only thing on here that even says anything Uncle Roger is in the description line in here. It says that it's Uncle Roger Food Service. That's it. Like, that's the only even nod to his character. Other than that, like, that's on your sleeve. Like, that's pretty cool fucking design work right there. Like, MSG King of Flavor on your sleeves. You get the the full front of the packaging, and this is the legitimate. I think it's pronounced Ashimoto brand MSG label, just redone. So, like, yeah, it's pretty clever.
Good old Uncle Roger.
The show is incredible, and I think currently right now it's back on whatever the website is where you can rent it and watch it and see the whole stand-up special. But yeah, good stuff. He made some great China jokes that got him canceled during it. Good stuff. Like, straight up got canceled in China over that stand-up special. That's a win.
That's tough, actually.
I mean, is it like? I think if you can get canceled by an entire country, you're kind of winning as a stand-up comedian, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that they're not really having that much of a revenue loss because of that. Like, are they gonna? Is there a lot of comedians that go do like big tours in China?
I mean, I guess there are probably some, but it again is.
I don't know if like Uncle Roger would hit there. Maybe he would. That.
I mean, the way things work for China, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, well, also never know because he's banned.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his social credit score is 0 now, so tough. Shit out of luck.
How's he ever going to come back from that?
I know. I guess he's just going to have to stick to talking shit on the internet. Honestly, I think I'm just mad that I'm not quite funny enough to make it just talking shit on the internet. That's honestly what it comes down to, right? Like, this dude's just like watching somebody make fried rice, like, you fucked up. You make my ancestor cries. Like, and now he's like literally able to travel the world and do comic stand-up shows anywhere, and it's amazing that he's got the ability to write the kind of comedy that has done that, because so many people try, right, and they don't get half as far as he's managed to do. Some people are still going to make funny stuff on YouTube, and that's it. Some people will always be that guy from Vine, and that's all they'll ever be.
It's like, why don't I recognize you? Oh, you might recognize me from, I was pretty Vine famous. Be like, what's Vine?
Legit, I saw...
the crazy thing about that, bro, is there were 6-second videos, bro.
Mm-hmm.
People are getting famous off of 6 seconds, dude.
That laid the groundwork for Reels and all that shit now. TikTok and everything. Like,
wow, bro.
I had a buddy of mine. He was shout out to my man Bonesy. I should see if we can get him on the show to tell some stories. But Bonesy was the dude who used to book all the local shows in my area. He's the dude who put me on. He's the dude I guess I wouldn't say I took over from when he left. I helped the guy who took over for him when he left in the club I was working out of. But like Bonesy, dude, he kind of was one of those people who just blew up. His type of humor worked for the quick 6-second format of Vine. And so like he got like pretty big on there, and then Vine just collapsed.
Honestly, Vine just got MySpace. Like that's what I feel happened to them. Like they do a lot of like the early groundwork, and then somebody just comes in, does something similar, but it just hits way harder, and then Vine's done. Like that's like how I feel like so much stuff.
Well, yeah, if I remember correctly, Vine just went away.
Yeah,
and then something filled its place.
By Twitter, I think Twitter bought it, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah, and
so it's just like ended it. They're like, yeah, GG's. We don't have to worry about this competition anymore.
Exactly.
Like they from there just transferred to YouTube.
They used the Bill Gates method.
Well, some of them transferred to YouTube. Not all of them could make the transition.
A lot of those people were making Instagram videos at the time before Reels was a thing. Then, of course, once TikTok hit, a lot of those people went to TikTok, and boom, they found their new calling, which is wild.
Dude, some of the things these days, I don't use them, so like I don't fully understand them. But it seems like people really do enjoy them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have TikTok on my phone. I actually never like got into Vines.
So much of that stuff is like, it's just platforms to sell stuff now. Like,
well, I think that isn't that like the goal of like 90% of the pages is to like make money, get opportunities.
That's kind of it. Like, right? Like, everybody's just trying to monetize whatever they can put out there on one of these platforms now. So it's like, even to the point that like you watch your cute cat videos and it's like you get like the little carousel, 2 cat videos, and then an ad for something cat related. Like, now that we got you to watch our 2 cute cat videos, buy this useless thing. And by the way, I'll get 10% from that sale. Appreciate it. Affiliate marketing is cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dogging it. But it's like, damn, man, that's what majority of all your social media is. Hey, look at these pictures of my kids. Look at these pictures of my kids. And speaking of my kids,
the monetization of kids, bro, is crazy.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of kids, buy this thing. It makes my life as a mom so much better. Like, ooh, scary.
Like, you thought child stars were a thing, dude, or were a bad thing? Dude, think about some of these kids that are getting thrown out on the internet before they can even fucking talk, and they have no choice in the matter.
Yeah, like there countless videos of people who like get caught in that shit because they leave it recording as they're coaching the kid how to act in a scene for a TikTok or an Instagram or something, like, and being like literally like ruthless stage parent to the kid.
It's brutal, man.
It's yeah, dude. So much of it's fabricated, and that's the worst part.
Like, honestly, dude, like, I understand, like, for like movies and things, there are times where you need a kid to play a part, but it's just like, damn, I wish like you didn't have to have child actors, bro, because they just get fucked. Not
100%.
Not I don't know. That came out.
But I was saying, no, because I know where you're going, and it's like, well, maybe sometimes even literally,
who knows, bro. You know what I mean? Like with that whole what's the fucking thing? It's a docu movie series thing on Netflix. Something the shadow. No. It's about like a fucking human trafficking in like Hollywood or something like that. That had to do with like kids or something like that. Fuck, I forgot what it was called. I was literally listening to something yesterday about it. It's like, dude, who knows what the fuck's going on in Hollywood, dude? Or, dude, did you guys hear recently that apparently some of the Epstein list is being finally
at this point in time, as the listeners are hearing it, they it's been out for a little bit, but it's currently like over the last 3 days, some names have been coming out. Now, here's the thing, and this is where unfortunately some people are taking this information and maybe not being as upfront about it as they should be, so they're misleading people a little, is that this isn't the client list. So that's the thing that we need to all make clear. Yeah. This isn't the actual client list that some people are making it out to be. These are all of the names that were brought up through the Maxwell case, the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. And so what the involvement of all these people are in some of these releases is hard to understand unless you read the hundreds and hundreds of pages of documents that are coming out.
And they're only releasing little bits at a time. Yeah,
because one of the names on there that's really kind of got people's eyebrows raised is Stephen Hawking.
Yep.
Stephen Hawking was a guest of Epstein at some point. And so that's weirding people out.
It's a big name too that people are talking about.
We know Bill Clinton's on there.
Yeah, everybody's had suspicions about Clinton.
I've read several of the names myself. One of the names that's not on there, just to put this out there in case anybody still believes this nonsense, Jimmy Kimmel's not on there. Period. He's not there. Sorry, Aaron Rodgers. You're just wrong. You're just being a jerk.
Dude, that was a whole thing, dude.
You're just being a jerk. So hopefully by the point that this show airs, everybody already knows that Aaron Rodgers is a jerk.
I actually don't know what you guys are talking about.
So Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Kimmel have had
Rodgers said that Jimmy Kimmel was there.
So Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Kimmel have had a beef for years, I guess. And on a recent ESPN show, they did this to call in with Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers implied that Jimmy Kimmel's name would be released in these documents as being somebody who was associating with Epstein. And Kimmel threatened Aaron Rodgers with a lawsuit if he didn't shut his fucking mouth because it's not true.
That's some pretty big allegations to make, dude, if you don't have any evidence.
Like, just to be a dickhead, like, that's fucked.
Because like I read like Jimmy's tweet back to him or whatever, and it's like he's putting it like not only is he like bringing Jimmy down, but he's also putting his like family and like career in danger. You know what I mean? By making these allegations that he doesn't have any evidence of. That's where the internet gets people in trouble now, bro. Because like, even though people do have the freedom to say what you're gonna say, like there are laws against you fucking slandering people and making lies against people that are completely true. It's called defamation of character. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You could do that and literally ruin some people's lives by a lie that you made that is completely false. You know what I mean?
We've seen it time and again. I mean, Rudy Giuliani just ate shit to the tune of like $138 million because of his defamation suit that he lost, defaming two vote counters in Georgia.
What? Sorry, can you say that one more time? The first part?
So Rudy Giuliani just lost a defamation suit against two vote counting women in Georgia over the 2020 election because he had been lying for the last several years about the fact that these women were tampering with the votes so that Donald Trump would lose. And in a court of law, they just found him guilty of defamation of this to the tune of $138 million because these women's lives were literally threatened. People were literally attacking them at their home. Their personal information was leaked on the internet. And so dangerous people were physically attacking these two women.
That's a whole nother thing. Doxing people, bro. Like giving out people's personal information to the fucking general public and then... Oh, dude.
Like, it's crazy.
Life is sketchy nowadays. Not saying that it wasn't before, but it's just on a different level now.
The power of technology has just made that danger so much more amplified now. Because you can do something like doxing. Like, doxing in the 90s would have been like a group of crazy, angry people being like, here, give this to your network of friends and give this information to your network of friends. You know what I mean? Like that information would have taken time to spread because it had to be done physically by people. In the internet age, dude, like in an hour, millions of people can have that information in their hands. In a second, millions of people can have that information, depending on where you put it. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy what technology has done in that sense.
Dude, I'm pretty sure like billions of people. Like, can't get it done. Sorry, you just said like millions, and I'm like,
I'm looking at
billions of people, bro.
I'm looking at it like this: where people who dox people put that information, I wouldn't think that the majority of people are there looking at that information, right?
Oh, true.
I don't hang out on the internet anywhere that people are sharing that personal information of other individuals. So that's the thing. Like, I'm not expecting everybody's going to have access to it, but I'm going to think that the worst people to have that information are probably culminating in a place where that information gets shared. And that's so scary. Like, fucking people who are genuinely crazy enough to go attack someone at their home are hanging out in the web forums where that information will get shared by people. That's terrifying. Like, it's no wonder people are scared these days. I mean, shit. Did you guys talk about scared? Have you guys heard the crazy story about what happened in Florida?
Well, Miami with the supposed alien creature or whatever.
8-foot, 10-foot aliens allegedly being seen in a mall in Florida. It was response of like over 100 some odd police officers to this mall.
37 cops, 37 squad cars or some shit.
I've watched the footage. It's way more than that. Like
I was watching like a video today and it was saying something about like 30 something or more.
But
yeah, it looked pretty wild. Obviously they didn't show this fucking creature in any footage that I've seen anywhere. It just shows people fucking running all over.
Basically, I found a guy who did a ton of research on it already, and he even went and found all of the radio calls for the police department. And basically what happened was there was an illegal gathering of about 100 people having a car meet in a back lot. At the same time that was happening, somebody in there had allegedly stolen something from somebody at knife point. So they had this large police presence basically show up, surround the area, and then start to make these people get ready to scare and run off. When they all started to run off, the police started to close in on them. But yeah, they've just been someone out here somewhere pushed this like wild story.
The same shit that happened in fucking Vegas or whatever not too long ago.
Yeah, like a year ago. Yeah, same thing. They tried to say that they were like these 10-foot tall aliens and shit. Yeah.
I mean, maybe, I guess.
This is a point that I have to take a quick minute and fix a breaker that I see my wife just tripped again.
Yeah, no worries.
As we can see, the lights behind me have all gone out.
That is true. Sean is now. I thought that was just perfect timing for the fact that, you know, you're talking about the
thing is it didn't flip the breaker on the opposite side where your camera and everything's plugged in at.
Yeah, thankfully, the way my house is wired up, this is what's weird. The plug that's behind me that runs those tanks is connected to a circuit upstairs in the bathroom. So my wife probably used a hairdryer and all my lights just went out. Yep. All right, give me a minute.
Yeah, handle it, man. We'll keep people entertained here while you're gone. Chris, you know what else is crazy? We'll have to talk to Sean about this too and get his opinion when he gets back. But speaking of like conspiracies and shit like that, Cat Williams recently did a pretty big interview. Okay, perfect. You're back, Sean. So have you heard about this whole Cat Williams interview that's fucking crazy with Shannon Sharp?
Listen, I need to hear the whole thing, but I've listened to a lot of clips.
I listened to the whole thing yesterday, bro. All 2 hours and 40 something minutes of it, just because I had to hear it.
Yo, he's throwing some wild shit out there.
The crazy thing is, bro, is it seems like he's got a lot of receipts for a lot of things. You know what I mean? And if you look back at Cat Williams, he's been saying shit like this since like, not like the same shit, but like he hasn't been afraid to say like some wild shit about Hollywood in the past and been right about it.
I know. And that's the crazy thing. When that Weinstein bit had me like, and again, like I haven't heard the whole thing. I heard somebody cut that clip and I was like, wait, what? So
there's all kinds of stuff, dude.
Obviously the one that made it all blow up was the clip about him talking about when Puffy want to party, you have to tell him no.
That was a big one. Not only that, but he called out quite a few pretty, large, big comedians like Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, saying that both Steve and Cedric steal jokes, and that Cedric stole one of his jokes and put it in the Kings of Comedy special, and he literally had done it 2 years before that. And then Cedric also came and saw him do it at the Comedy Store one night. Told him, yeah, it was a good bit. And then all of a sudden, 2 years later, he's doing pretty much the same bit. Just turned it from him being in a car into being in a spaceship. But everything else is practically the same fucking thing.
And who got their joke stolen?
Cat Williams.
I have to like Google who this person is.
Did you ever watch Wild 'N Out or see Friday After Next or anything?
I've seen. Oh, okay, yeah. He's Money Mike.
Yeah. And supposedly one of the big things that he came on there to clear up is that apparently Ricky Smiley or whatever, the guy who plays the Santa Claus in Friday After Next, came on to Shannon Sharp's show and was saying that he was actually supposed to be Money Mike, but they ended up switching roles or some shit. But the role was supposed to be him or something like that. And Cat Williams is like, 200 and something people auditioned for that part. He's like, but when they got to me, they just so happened to think I was the perfect fit. And he wrote a majority of Money Mike's lines and like helped to develop the character.
Dude, there's like laugh thing. I don't even know what the way he'd finish sentences and like walk away kind of shit.
Yeah, dude.
Do like some weird.
And like even Ice Cube actually came out and like made a statement like after the interview and like even said that, yeah, that's pretty much it. He's like, yeah, he came in and he tried the Money Mike part, but we figured that he was actually better for the Santa Claus part. So we put him there. And then once we found Cat, he's like, oh, he's perfect. This is it. You know what I mean?
That's Money Mike right there.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, Cat he would just like be on set and like he wasn't supposed to have as many parts as he did, but like he was just giving us gold. So we just kept, developing his character. So like he was like, when he was going on about that, he's like, so don't be coming on here trying to take credit for some shit that, he's like, you didn't say any of Money Mike's lines. He's like, because you know why? Because I wrote them.
Cat's one of the real ones, baby. Cat's one of the realest motherfuckers out there.
The craziest part about it, dude, is apparently like he left home when he was like 13 and like moved down to like Florida or some shit. Because like apparently he's like was like some sort of child prodigy, like super smart, could read like fluently by like the age of like 3 or 5 or some shit. So this is just what they were saying. And they like left home at like 13, moved to Florida, and was doing his own thing. And apparently at like one point, like he was like some sort of quote unquote pimp or something, like in Oklahoma, like when he was like 16 or some shit. And then by the time he made it to like LA, he was like 18 or 19. And like, dude, it was just like, dude, the story's crazy. It's honestly, like, if anything, even if it's all bullshit or whatever, it's an entertaining fucking interview to watch because it's crazy. He calls out like a bunch of people too, like Kevin Hart, saying Kevin Hart's a plant. Like he's like, how? He's like, let me ask you this. When have you ever heard of somebody coming to Hollywood and in their first year, they've got their own sitcom and their own movie called Soul Plane? He's like, how is that possible when he just put out a documentary with Chris Rock saying that his whole career was over on the East Coast? So he's like, how can he simultaneously be on the East Coast and doing all this stuff in LA? Because apparently like there was like some documentary that they did about the Comedy Store and this like Fat Tuesdays thing, and they're talking, the guy that made it was saying how Kevin Hart was always there and something like that. So like he's like saying bullshit. He's like, Kevin Hart never was at the Comedy Store. He's like, how could he be in the Comedy Store when he's over in the East Coast doing shit? Dude, it's just wild, bro. Like I was so locked in, bro, that like I literally sat here, got high as shit, and just listened and was just like, bro, this is crazy.
He's saying crazy shit, but it could very much be true.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? Some of what Kat is saying, other people have echoed a lot of the same sentiments throughout the industry.
Not only that, but there have been a few people that have come out after the fact, after his interview, and started making statements like kind of agreeing with him on a lot of the different things he's saying about different things too, not about like one specific thing. It's like some people are coming out for this, some people are coming out for that, some people are coming out for that, some people are even like accounting multiple things. It's pretty crazy, dude.
I know.
Here's what you know who Gary Owens is, Sean? White comedian, but like he's like does more of like black crowds and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like he's a super funny guy, dude. Like if you saw him, you would know. If you Google him real quick, bro, and like look at his picture, you'd be like, oh yeah, I know this guy.
Gary Owens.
He's like because he's talking about how like Illuminati and stuff, and how like certain people have gotten to certain spots because they'll do certain things to get certain things. You know what I mean? Like whether it be, you know, sexual or, you know, being.
I'm not sure I've seen him work, but
super funny guy. But like he's a white dude that performs to mainly like black crowds, and he's like he fucking kills it, dude. He like, you know what I mean? He's just got that kind of vibe. He's like you would almost like if you just heard him, you'd probably think he was a black dude. You know what I mean? But then you see him and you're like, oh, okay, he's just a white dude that probably grew up in the hood. You know what I mean? And that's just his vibe. You know what I mean? But he's fucking hilarious, dude. Super fucking funny, dude. But,
apparently his wife's
Williams
pretty hot
saying
too.
Something about like he's like, why don't you think fucking? He's like, why do you think Gary Owens can only perform for black crowds? It hasn't broke through. Because Gary won't fucking bend over and do what these guys want to do. And then Gary fucking came and like did like a little thing afterwards. And he's talking about, he's like, honestly, man, he's like, when he said that, he's like, I didn't really know what he meant. He's like, I didn't know if it was an insult or what. He's like, but then I kind of thought about it. He's like, honestly, he's like, to be honest, when I was like young in my career, he's like, there was a moment where I was like, this isn't what's going on here, is it? Like apparently he was like had a meeting and like was was propositioned, or like that sort of vibe was happening. He's like, yeah, I ain't about this, you know what I mean? So he ended up missing out on that opportunity or some shit, and like since then he just hasn't been able to get like, or I don't know what it was fully, but dude, it just makes me so glad I never wanted to pursue anything in Hollywood as far as like acting or anything like that.
Well, that's the thing, though. They say that to make it in the entertainment business, you've got to sell your soul. And
who wants that?
The more that a lot of these big artists, whether they be comedians, they be actors, they be musicians, they come out and they talk about these things. It turns out that you literally do have to do some pretty awful things if you want to make it.
Oh, dude, and it's just like, look at the ones that just kind of pop up out of nowhere and all of a sudden are just huge. Like, how does that happen?
100%.
That can't just be, you know.
There's some great conspiracies around it. Like one of my favorite ones is allegedly there's a conspiracy that Lady Gaga.
Oh, all this is here being said today is alleged. By the way,
this is
just clarification for anybody.
These are the conspiracies. Alleged. These are hearsay. This is the things that people talk.
We're just talking.
But there's the story that Lady Gaga actually had one of her best friends killed, and then assumed her identity to become famous.
So she's not Lady Gaga?
So the woman who is Lady Gaga is not who she claims to be. That she had a friend killed in order to take that woman's identity and become the famous woman we know as Lady Gaga.
Okay, but how does that... So, but what about her did she not have family?
Oh, no, she had family.
But like her family didn't realize that
that's part of this whole conspiracy, is that like how that all works. I have not read enough into it to know the full story.
Sounds like a movie trailer I saw not too long ago.
but basically the idea is
that what movie I'm talking about, right? Or the trailer? Have you guys seen it?
No.
It's about like this girl that like finds this other one and pretty much somehow finds a way to take over her identity and something like that. And it's crazy because somehow she achieves it, but like it's weird, dude. Weird concept. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this story that Sean's talking about right now.
Basically, this is your Illuminati in the music industry story where they say, okay, if you want to become famous, you have to kill your writing partner, and then you can take her identity and be famous. We'll let you be famous now.
Some ritualistic type shit.
Right. So she has to take part in killing her friend in order to now take her place, take her name, and now become famous and become this artist. So, that's just one of the crazy stories out there.
The part about that is like, I don't understand how any of that could work.
Dude, well, like, speaking about that,
I don't understand how any of that can work at all.
Catwoman's kind of had like a story kind of about like the Illuminati and how this kind of thing sorts of works. He's like, there was a point where Shannon Sharp asked him if him and Ludacris were related, and he's like, no, we're not related, but there was a point where we both had a meeting with the Illuminati, and let's just say one of us had to cut all our hair off and we couldn't do our sideburns and the little point thing, and the other one would get a certain amount of money for like doing a certain amount of movies or some shit like that. And he's like, and then one of them would something and one of them would something. So like he didn't really like say who was who and who was who. And then he's like, so are you trying to say, Shannon asked him like a question. He's like, let me ask you. It's like, so how many Fast and Furious movies are they on now? What number are they at? Shannon Sharp's like 10. He's like, that's like $200 million. He's like, wait. He's like, yeah. And then one of them gets like a white woman or some shit that nobody ever hears about or sees. And dude, he was just saying some crazy shit, dude. But like, apparently he's like saying that Ludacris is a part of the Illuminati. Or like, it is so weird, dude. There's so many things being said, bro, that my mind's still kind of blown about like all the accusations. I don't even know if I could say accusations, but just the things that were
the words.
said. Yeah, it was just crazy, dude. Like, I'm just like, dude, if any of this is true, that's fucking wild as fuck, dude. Like, but honestly, at the same time, I kind of believe it all already, and it doesn't like really blow my mind all that much. You know what I mean? About certain things. There's still some stuff that he said that I'm like, I don't know necessarily if it was like that, but dude, I don't know, dude. It's wild, dude. I've still been watching clips, like rewatching them today, like kind of see if there's anything I missed in what he said.
I just got a quick synopsis of that whole Lady Gaga conspiracy, so I can explain this better.
Let's get back to that.
Yeah. So this is the synopsis of a episode from the Curly Conspiracies podcast, who discussed it actually. So if people want to hear something about this more in depth and learn about it, go check these guys out. But their synopsis was, before Lady Gaga's rise to fame, she worked with another artist named Lena Morgana, who shared similar dreams and artistic vision. Right before Lady Gaga flew to the top of the charts, though, Lena Morgana's life came to a tragic end. Afterward, the symbolism in Lady Gaga's work, remarks from Lena's family, and unnerving silence from the press made conspiracy theorists question what really happened to Lena Morgana and if Lady Gaga could have been involved. So that's what this particular podcast is going to investigate in this, is what that story is all about. But yeah, so I guess the idea is that this Lena Morgana had the Lady Gaga persona already figured out, and the woman who is Lady Gaga now was behind her friend's death in order to take this persona from her.
Okay, so they were like writing partners or something like that,
right?
Too?
Right. Okay. Like they were musical partners. They were working together, and in order for this person who is Lady Gaga to become the one and only famous person.
So she didn't necessarily take over her life. She just took over the persona that she was trying to.
The Lady Gaga character.
Okay. That makes more sense than what I was originally thinking, where she like literally took the other girl's actual.
I'm going to take your social security number and be you.
Which in that movie I was talking about is what happened. Like she literally like took the girl's name and like started like coming around like the girl's family and like all. It was weird, dude. I don't know how. It worked.
What do you mean? I am Sarah. No, the fuck you're not.
It was weird, dude. I don't even know what the movie was called, but
that would be a weird situation. Could you imagine someone just tries to gaslight you? They just come into your home and you're like, "No, I'm your kid."
Dude, it's the epitome of gaslighting, bro, for sure.
I'd be like, "I'm going to kill you. Get out of my house right now." I don't know who you are. You're not my kid. Why would you want to
kill your kid?
You got any cool conspiracies for us, Chris, that you've heard lately?
No, not really. I'm not really like that much into them. Like, if somebody brings one to my attention, I might. But I don't really think about those kinds of things that often.
What about giants?
I listen to people talking about them. Giants would be cool.
Think about giants. The fact that giants really could exist.
They could.
I mean, they kind of do. I mean, look at people in the NBA. Like, we got some 7 foot, 8 foot, 7
yeah,
foot.
But I always thought that like giants were like 12, 14 feet tall or something.
So historically speaking, there's evidence that we had some giants in native culture who were roughly 8 to 10 feet tall. So if we're talking 8 to 10 feet being a giant, that's
pretty big, dude.
That's a big dude. And some of these NBA players aren't far off.
It's all about perspective, too. You know what I'm saying? So if you've ever seen anything that's really much taller than 8 to 10 foot, and you see something that's 8 to 10 foot, that's going to be a pretty fucking giant to you. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you're someone like us that sees fucking buildings that are fucking hundreds of, 20, 30 stories tall that are fucking ginormous, and we see that shit all the time, it might, kind of skew.
I say this, man. Like, I've met people who are 7 feet tall, and as a 6 foot tall man, I'm like, damn, you're a big motherfucker. Yeah.
So it's crazy, like how much that 1 foot makes.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? Like, I think if I met somebody who was like, say, 9 feet tall, I'd be like, this dude's a fucking giant.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, to be that height, you're talking about literally having bigger head, bigger bones in general to create that big of a human being. But what's really interesting is that some of the historic evidence talks about these giants having double rows of teeth, which makes them a unique characteristic that would differentiate them from just a normal human being that is really tall.
Maybe there's some sort of hybrid.
So
maybe that's just like what other human teeth were like back then.
One of the prevailing theories is that this may be like one of those missing link species, right? Where like early human and early Neanderthal crossbred, and we had this like other species of primate type man that somehow has this ability to be extremely tall.
Dude, maybe they're Sasquatches, bro. Or Yetis.
That could make for an interesting explanation.
Because I always thought that like that's how tall they would be.
Well, dude, they're still finding different variations of the human genome out there, like all over the place, bro, that they didn't think were around. I can never remember the names because they're always the super scientific ones that I can't like name off the top of my head. Like, of course, you got the Homo sapiens, you got the Neanderthals, you got the
Homo erectus.
But there's like Homo sapiens, sapien, and there's like other weird ones too. I know what you mean.
Yeah, dude.
It starts to get complicated the further you get out through it.
Yeah.
Giganticus. I think that's the era.
Oh, Gigantopithecus.
Yeah, that's another one. And then there's like the small ones too. That the what are they called? Like, it's not the scientific name, but I think they called them the Inunaka or something like that. Like the Hobbit people.
Hobbit people? Oh, that's real?
Yeah, they found like remains, I think, like bones, like on an island somewhere. Fuck, where was it at? I should have this stuff pulled up. Oh, drum roll, please. I should have this stuff pulled up when I start talking about it, but I never know what we're going to talk about until we get here. So
yeah, I'm getting better these days at just at least having a Google window open so that I can be like, hey, you know, let's see what's going on. Like, is this legit? Because like in the world of seeing if things are legit, have you guys heard about this whole thing that Africa is starting to split?
Oh yeah, I've heard about that a long time ago. I've seen the actual crack and crevice.
So the East African Rift system runs downward through Ethiopia, Kenya, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Zambia, Tanzania, Malawi, and Mozambique. And yes, Africa is slowly but surely splitting in two along this rift. And yeah, like I've seen some footage of it, and apparently it is getting gnarly, bigger. Dude. It's getting pretty gnarly, and there is a likelihood that at some point the ocean water is going to flow in both ends, and it is literally going to divide the African continent and give them like a new island, basically, down this rift. It's pretty damn wild that this is happening, probably in our lifetime.
No, it won't be in our lifetime, bro. It won't be in our lifetime.
You'd be surprised, Chris. The rift is getting very large already.
You see how much it's fucking moved just within like the past 5 years, dude.
Go ahead and do a little share screen action. You can see some of this here news coverage of the rift as it is right now.
5 years, but
bear with us. Stand by while my computer's like, maybe we want to do this. I'm not sure today. But yeah, man, this is just an image of one area where the rift is breaking. I don't know if it's sharing for you boys yet.
Yeah, I see it.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what they're seeing right now is in certain areas, it is getting wider, it is getting deeper, and so it is reaching a point where once the water floods it, we're talking about erosion, we're talking about being able to really increase the speed at which the breaking happens.
Yeah, once water starts flowing through there, dude, you'll be surprised at how much faster things.
And so yeah, this is a little map action to show us kind of where the rift action is and where it is going to break and inevitably flood. Yeah, super interesting. So like, it's very possible we could see this flooding happen and this start to break. Like, here we go. Here's some of the other extensions of it, where we can see how much more massive it is in those places. Really interesting stuff happening to our planet. And it's just kind of, reshaping itself as we speak.
Think about it, bro. At one point, we were Pangea, where all the continents were one. And eventually, over time, started to split. New ones started to sprout from the oceans.
It's true. Land bridges, the whole nine were a thing. And that was the dispersion of peoples at one time. And now, here we are.
That's how there's woolly mammoths in Alaska.
It's even
that's a whole another thing, dude.
Yeah.
The boneyard.
The land bridges alone, like there's been evidence that there was a land bridge through the ice that would basically have made it possible to walk from, say, Europe to the Americas, mainly, northern Canada, via these ice land bridges. at different periods in history. So absolutely different species could have made those.
Well, wasn't there like a land bridge from like Russia to like maybe Eastern China or something? I don't know, somewhere.
Well, there's a strait,
like Alaska or some shit.
There's a strait from Russia through Alaska that, if sea levels are low enough, is 100% connecting, and then obviously in freezing, absolutely they connect. It is kind of scary to realize that like that's American territory, and it's quite literally at one point possible to see Russia.
Yeah, you can
from the shoreline,
on the coast of Alaska, and look into Russia.
Like, that's scary and crazy to actually think about. And even crazier is, again, we did this once before on the show where I like to go fuck around and look at Google Maps. There are islands in the water that belong to both Russia and the United States. So there is an island that belongs to Alaska and an island that belongs to Russia, and they're probably just a couple of miles apart from each other.
And then we've got old fucking Hawaii just hanging out in the middle of the ocean out there. No, nowhere near us. Just
catching on fire.
It's definitely in the middle of nowhere.
There's all sorts of cool shit out there for other little islands, though. You know? They're not too far from Easter Island. Go see the big heads.
That have bodies.
That have bodies and were walked into place.
So crazy.
I mean, obviously, at this point, we've pretty much ascertained that walked into place was a process where they were causing it to like just rock back and forth in a walking fashion, the way that, say, like you might move a dresser in your room.
Thing. We're not even sure if that's how they did it, bro.
Yeah, well, you're 100% right. We don't know for sure.
It's like the pyramids, bro. We still don't know how that was done. And for all we know, they had some sort of crazy ancient technology, some sort of maybe anti-gravity type shit, some reverse polarity, magnetic energy field, psychic, telekinesis. Who fucking knows, dude? That over time, due to fucking meteor strikes and, the annihilation of civilizations, we've forgotten. And I'm getting on my Graham Hancock here. And, we're a fucking species with amnesia, as he says. And we have forgotten and developed our own types of technologies instead of, what have been, used before, because they've been lost to catastrophes.
Here's what I do know. There exists the Coral Castle in Florida. And the man who built the Coral Castle built all of these amazing and elaborate stone structures on this property by himself. And when they asked him how he alone was capable of lifting these large blocks and doing the things he did, his answer was that he had figured out the secret of the Egyptian pyramids. And he left his answer at that. So what does that even fucking mean?
Yeah, dude.
But when you see what that man did at the Coral Castle, that's friggin' insane that a single human being can make a goddamn door that is like, I think it's like 7 or 8 feet tall by like 6 feet wide, all solid fucking rock, and you can one hand spin it on a dime to make it turn and open. Whatever the hell this dude figured out, he figured out how to do it real damn well.
Dude, he could have been on his Tesla shit, bro. His Tesla knew how to fucking send energy through the fucking ground, bro. Fucking plug lights in the ground and they fucking light up, dude.
100% fact. And the fact that even History Channel had that show where they were able to replicate that whole experiment and prove it with modern technology, modern replication of that technology.
Dude, it's just so sad he never got the credit he deserved, bro.
So you want to talk some Tesla tech? I think we've talked about this once before, but you know that Donald Trump's, I think it was great-grandfather, was one of the people who received much of Tesla's research.
Oh yeah, I think we've talked about that.
Well, you know, there's a story about a young boy called Baron Trump, who's a time traveler.
No.
I don't know if this is legit. I didn't do the research. I literally saw this morning on my Instagram. Hold up. I'm going to see if I can pull up this whole crazy shit to see if I can play it for you, because it blew my damn mind this morning. I went, no way. Like, there's no way. There's no freaking way. But I know that I remembered to save it because I was like, I want to revisit this with the boys because it's just that crazy.
He's like the youngest son of Donald Trump, right?
Yes.
He's probably like a teenager. Maybe he's 20 now.
There's my saved. Okay, that's that one. Is this you? Yeah, I think this is the one.
Don't leave me hanging here, Sean.
Where's the audio?
I'm invested now.
Oh no, that's this dude responding to the whole police in Miami. So that's not the one we're looking for. All right, come on, we gotta find this crazy conspiracy about Donald Trump's kid and Donald Trump being time travelers. Because I heard this and I was like, that's wild. And come on. I'm disappointed. I don't appear to have saved it. So that means I have to do this the extra hard way. All right. I have to actually go back and look through my liked stuff. So this is going to take us a little bit longer than we thought.
Okay, so Baron Trump is probably 17 years old. Also, it's apparently he's 6'7".
What?
That's a big kid.
Yeah. Dude, he's way taller than his mom, and apparently his mom's 5'11".
Here we go.
And it'd be tough being like famous people's kids, or I guess like if you're a presidential kid, that'd suck too.
Oh, Sean, you're talking about them fucking Mountain Dews, bro.
Mystic Punch, get after it.
Punch, baby. Oh yeah.
Get it, India, bud.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Mountain Dew.
Yeah, we'll take a sponsorship
Anytime, right? No shit. I'm literally doing the hard work and looking through all of my past liked reels so I could try to find this crazy story. Problem is, you know how this goes. You get stoned, you just kind of start flipping through your reels, just liking everything, and all of a sudden you're like,
I don't like anything. I just scroll.
Then how do you ever get like an algorithm that works for you? Do you not? Do you ever find that you're getting a lot of the same content all the time?
I just get a bunch of random shit.
Maybe that's like the best way to approach it.
Yeah, I don't really like stuff. I just don't think about it. You know what I mean? I just scroll. Like, I like people's photos and stuff, but when I'm scrolling, like reels, No.
Oh man, I must not have even liked this video.
Damn.
Wasn't life changing, folks. You heard it here first.
Because maybe I was just so dumbfounded by what I was hearing that I was like, I don't know if I should hit the like on this one. I'm literally going to do this and see if I can find it. I'm going to pray to the Google foo gods. Okay. So I'm horrified right now to say that part of this conspiracy is already real. Because part of this conspiracy is that there's an old story about a kid named Barron Trump being a time traveler. And according to the Library of Congress, there is a book called Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. So this is, in fact, a legitimate story. It is a real thing, according to the Library of Congress, which is the holder of the records of these things.
Wait, so what?
So yeah, part of this conspiracy is that this book called Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey is in fact a true story about the real life Barron Trump that we know right now as the child of Donald Trump being a legitimate time traveler, or that his whole family are time travelers. And that this story that was written like back in I don't even know what this is, maybe 18 or early 1900s, is proof that they're time travelers.
This is proof.
Yeah,
James.
that's what makes this conspiracy theory so crazy, right? Is that this book's existence is supposed to be the proof that the Trump family are time travelers. Because there actually does exist a book from the early days. I'm trying to see if I can find on the Library of Congress what year this was published. Oh, I think I just spotted where. Here we go. So, created and published in Boston by Lee and Shepard in 1893. The book Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. And the existence of this book is supposed to be proof that the Trump family are time travelers. Yeah. Because they're saying that this story is them prophesizing, if you will, what is going on. That Donald Trump traveled through time to save us from Hillary Clinton. That is how this conspiracy is supposed to work. And that this book, Barron Trump's Marvelous Adventure, is the proof that they're time travelers.
All right. At first I thought this could be something real and something, fun to get into. Now I'm out. I'm out, dude. I'm out now. Okay. You had me for a second, but now I'm out.
This shit cracks me up though, because there are people who genuinely believe this, that this is the proof, that it's the prophecy.
I mean, thank God for people.
Any similarities to this Baron in the book to the actual Baron in real life is the question.
There is an illustration that one could argue may look like the sun. There's one illustration in the whole book that people can point to. But let's be honest, right? If you just draw a picture of a kid in the late 1800s, they're just going to look like a kid, aren't they? I'm sure somebody could point that and be like, oh yeah, it also looks like, little Jimmy from down the street. So, yeah, it's gold. It's gold. I love a good conspiracy theory, especially when it's a silly one. After all the craziness we were just talking about like Hollywood and all that, we got to end on at least a silly one.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And that was pretty silly.
The Trumps being time travelers, that's a good silly one. I like that one. Made me smile.
Pretty out there.
But with that, we are at the end of our time. So we're going to bring this here Shedtime podcast to a close. And I'm going to pass it on over to Uncle Chris so we can sign it on out.
Sweet. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Of course, you can always check us out Friday nights on Frames Shaking Vapors YouTube channel for the Green Room. And you can go to shedtimepodcast.com, check out all the links we have there, listen to the podcast. Of course, check out the YouTube show. But I think that honestly, that's it for me. So everybody be safe, have a good week, and live your best life. Frames, go ahead, bro.
Of course, shout out to all the Shedheads. As always, we greatly appreciate you guys' support. It really means a lot to us. Make sure you guys leave those 5-star reviews on all those podcasting platforms and the whatnot. Check out the Patreon, of course, if you want to get some, early access to, the podcast and the video and some cool discounts, as well as some, just Discord links and other cool stuff, as well as checking us out on the Green Room on Friday. Like Chris said, you can hang out with us live, chit chat with us over there on the YouTube chats. You can maybe pop on with us for a Shedhead session, interact with us, live, play some games, spread some positive vibes. Other than that, we'll be here in the shed doing what we always do. So I am going to end it as I always do, sending out all of those positive vibes, crisp high fives. And as always, don't forget to tell someone you love them, and a little bag or dab will do you.
That is a fact, Jack. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us. We do really appreciate all of you. And, of course, shedtimepodcast.com. Head on over there. There's the links to everything. You can find the Green Room over there. You can find Instagrams and social medias and links to past guests and so much more. So go ahead and check it on out. And with that, I'll bring it to a close like I always do and tell you, don't let the bastards get you down. Be cool. Don't be a dick. And whatever it is that you do, be sure and have some fun, because it's the Shedtime podcast and it's time to roll on up and roll on out. Dynavap. Looking to cut the cord on your dry herb vape? Dynavap. Trying to get the best taste from your herb? Dynavap. Ready to take your sesh to the next level? Then meet Dynavap, the best way to vape your flower or concentrate. Concentrates? That's right. Your flower or hash can be vaped using Dynavap. Check out Dynavap.com to learn more. That's Dynavap.com. Lose the ash? Dynavap.
What's going on, Shedheads? It's your boy, Frames Janklin. Are you looking to step up your match game or have a raw copper, brass, or stainless mod or RDA that you're absolutely tired of polishing? Then you need to go and hit up my man Ashton at Palmer's Powders. He does some absolutely amazing powder coating work. He offers many different colors and finishes at an absolutely killer price. This man is taking powder coating to a whole new level, and he can make your setup an absolute masterpiece. You can go follow him over on Instagram at Palmer's Powders, and you can go check out pricing on his website, palmerspowders.com. That's palmerspowders.com. And as always, let's just vape on, Shedheads.
I want you to think of your favorite rebuildable right now. Yeah, okay, so you have a layer cake in your hand, and now you're about... Oh, sorry, yeah, that's not everyone's favorite. That's just mine. So think of your favorite rebuildable atomizer. Think about how good of a vape it produces for you. Now, take that and amplify it. And the way that you amplify that is you put in some Breezestone coils. Breezestone coils are handcrafted in Adelaide, Australia. They're made from some of the finest quality wire that you can get. I believe it's Wire Buddha. You take those coils, you take them out of that phenomenal packaging that clearly shows how much care that Adam puts on the quality of his coils and the insurance that you get them in good shape. You put them in that favorite RDA, and guess what?
you have coils that now sing better than Celine Dion. Go check out Breezestone Coils. You can find them on localvape.com and also steelvalleyvapors.com. Suck, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Air horn, air horn, air horn.